Hijab.
Hijab. Hijab.
Hijab. Okay. Namaste, hijab.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. My name is
Islam.
Hijab Akhtar Kwali and I am a student of Rehan School, Kalangi campus. I am studying class 7. My class name is the Future Navigators. So today we have the very honorable and grateful guest whose name is Sir Shiksha. So let's go and about himself and about him life journey. So first of all, sir, I want to thank you to come in my show and give me your valuable time.
Namaskaram and thank you, hijab. I am Dr. TPS, Dr. T.P. Shashikumar.
Okay, sir.
Basically, he was a space scientist in Department of Space, ISRO, Government of India. And I took my retirement when I was working with the Prime Minister's office during 2007-2009. So I'm a retired person. Now I spend all my time for education, teaching, go to different academic institutions, talk to youth, teachers, parents. So I have covered more than millions of students, teachers, and parents. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So my first question from you: Can you tell us about your background and how it has prepared for you for these diverse roles as a life mentor, teacher, scientist, spiritual director, and performance coach?
Uh, I don't know where is hijab from. Which part of Pakistan you are in hijab? Which
Yes,
which city of Pakistan you are?
Pakistan.
Are you from Karachi, Islamabad?
Yes,
Where? You are in Karachi.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So you are in a city, right? Karachi is almost like Bombay in India. It's like a port city where the business happens. Islamabad is almost like a Delhi. I am from the southernmost small state called Kerala. Though now I stay in Hyderabad, originally I am from a small village which is in the southwest of India. It's a small place, and that capital is in Thiruvananthapuram. That is in again southern part. So I stay very far from the capital city in the small state. It's mostly underdeveloped. Where electricity came when I was doing my masters, telephone came when I was doing my PhD. So from such a village, I went to take my mathematics PhD. So I'm a mathematician basically, which gave me an opportunity to get into space department, which is one of the most prestigious department. See, when we joined in a department, I was the first employee in that small department. It's a small office, we're 100 employees. All are scientists working in different science field. So naturally, you will have to look at how the organization grows. So what happened? I jumped into management. I jumped into law. So I took degrees as and when I got a chance to learn that subject. I also registered for a degree and got a university degree in law, university degree in management. I also did some philosophy studies. I am from a village, so traditionally we are all trained with the Indian heritage, knowledge. So little bit of philosophy, all that was part of, and strong science. Therefore, altogether, when we do a job in an office, definitely we will have a lot of people working under you. Their problems will be reported to me. Their difficulties in life will report to me. So definitely that turned me into a life mentor's job. And all of us have got a responsibility of teaching back. All scientists generally, when we get a junior, we have to teach them how to work. So all the scientists are or all the doctors in this world are teachers basically. So being a teacher is part of everybody's task. Every mother is a teacher for their children, right? Every politician is a teacher for their juniors. So I happen to be a teacher. I happen to be a life mentor. I have to be a lot of social activities. After my retirement, I'm full time into social service. So talking to children, talking to youth, developing them. Tomorrow also I'm there in Hyderabad in one of the engineering colleges for electronics, electrical, computer science, mechanical, civil. talk to most of the engineering students, right? I also got basically from a traditional village. We have got some Ayurveda background. Started learning medical science. Started learning psychology. So I have an MS in psychotherapy and counseling. So all together gives me an opportunity to look at life, LIFE, which I believe live in full enjoyment, learn in full enjoyment. So I make my students to learn with full happiness and entertainment with passion. That's what I'm doing. Good enough, hijab?
Okay, sir, amazing, and thanks for answer. So
Yeah.
my next question from you: what inspired you to pursue a career that encompasses such a wide range of roles?
Yeah. After my PhD, I was in Hong Kong for a conference. And I had my roommate. I was very junior, around 22 years old. I had a roommate who was a very senior space scientist. So all the 3 days when we stayed together, we started discussing about space department, and that inspired me to get into the space department as a scientist, right? Then when I got into space department, I told you as I'm teaching, so that got into my passion for teaching. So I went as a director for academic staff college. Academic staff college is teaching the university teachers at the highest level. So I was professor's professor. So I was teaching all the university professors. There are 450 universities when I became a director of academic staff college. And throughout India, pan India teachers used to come and attend my programs. So I was director for that. Next, I jumped into a lot of intelligence department, doing strategic analysis, the relationship with the different countries. So I became an expert in that field. So I got a job into Prime Minister's office. Then I took my retirement. Naturally, I had teaching passion, so I became a director of a educational institution, executive director. So I was into administration. I started teaching management subject. Then I started teaching mathematics as a professor. Recently, last during the COVID, I was a professor of management in one of the engineering colleges. In between, I started my own trust, which popularize people to learn. So I conduct a lot of camps, residential camps. 10 days people can come and stay with me in my hometown, which is a small village where I have got an old house. So many students keep coming from different areas, different field. They're stuck in their education. They don't know what is to be done. So career development. So I found I have to learn many subjects during this course of time. So that's why I can explain most of the engineering subjects, medical science, all the subjects, because I have got variety of students in different subjects. So it's my students who teach me all this. So that's why I got a different role or maybe variety of roles because of my students. Yeah, good question,
Wonderful.
Hijab.
Okay, sir, thank you, and wonderful answer. Okay, sir, so my next question, as a life mentor, how do you help individuals set and achieve their life goals?
See, generally what happens is, see, tomorrow I'm there in an engineering college. We're third semester engineering. So that means first year is over. So I am going to talk about how brilliant students you have to be to sustain, to progress in your life. Definitely, if there are 1,000 children listening to me, out of that 100 children will send a WhatsApp message, tell their problems, which subject is difficult for them. So I talk to them, I teach them that subject. So naturally, they find there is one person with whom I can discuss different subjects, learn. When earlier, when I was in Hyderabad, I had a house in which we have a huge library. A lot of people who wanted to study for different civil service, they come and prepare here. You want to go abroad, you have want a GRE, IELTS, they will come and prepare in my house. They want to get into higher education, they want a fellowship, they have to pass some examinations, prepare for competitive exams. They used to come and take my help. So naturally, these public programs like this interview, probably somebody is listening. Definitely somebody will contact me saying, oh, this is what you're doing, I also want to help. Every day average I get, and in a year, probably during admission I get 100 calls, but no, not during admissions or examinations happens, I get average 10 calls. There are more than lakhs of contacts with me. So what happens is they keep contacting me when they in school days, when they wanted to join college, they will contact me. When they will Google which subject is good for engineering, they will find my name, they will contact me. Today morning, somebody called because there is one program which is going to be in Kerala, where all the Gulf country people who are staying in Gulf country from a small place called Payanur, they have a friends association. They are conducting one of my program. Seeing that in Facebook, at least many people called me, oh, you are coming there, we also want a similar program in our no association. So these sort of small connections which comes through Facebook, Instagram, or whatever the public social media is keeping me busy for throughout my life. So maybe for last 10 years, almost every day I had a program. There is no single day where I was idle. Like now, hijab is in contact with me because you got me through some social media contacts, right? So you can see the world is so big. So many people keep contacting me like this. So you are one among them. If somebody has to, if you look at Pakistan Dr. TPS on YouTube, you can see a lot of people interviewing me from Pakistan like you. So it happens. It happens.
Amazing. Okay, so thanks for answer. So my next question from you: in your role as a teacher, what teaching methods or philosophies do you find most effective in engaging students?
See, I have authored a book called Adaptive Learning. The adaptive learning means every teacher has to be very close to the students. It is not teaching the subject is important. How good you are in taking the message into the heart of the students. It is not the learning through the brain. Even if I teach mathematics, it is not your brain what wanted to learn it. It's your heart. Oh, I love that subject. I hate that subject. That sort of feeling should come. How do you get the children to love a subject? That is what I focus. How do I love somebody when I know the quality of the subject, when I understand this is where it is used, this is this much important? All these comes as part of teaching. It is not learning some questions and learning some answers and writing examination, getting a certificate. Every student of mine, I make sure they love that subject. English learning is also a beautiful way of communicating. So communicating is not learning English vocabulary. Communicating is with the ideas. So where do you get ideas? How do you get questions? The quest for knowledge. The quest is the root word. What is quest? Oh, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. If any student has got that capacity to ask questions, I'm sure that student will become brilliant. So I make children to ask questions. Questions comes not from the brain, it comes from the heart. It comes from the feeling. The taste comes from the feeling. I love this subject. That is most important. By birth, all of us keep asking questions. A small child will take some item and then say, what is this? What is this? What is this? But after some time, children lost that ability to ask questions. So what I insist is for children to ask questions. So what do I do in my classes? I make children to ask a lot of questions. This is what I do. Now I'm more closely working with the early child care education. What is early child care education? How do a child from small childhood start identifying them with the world around? Like the young child learn the mother tongue. How do I learn different languages? How can you make a small child from age 3 to grade 3? Age 3 to grade 3, total informal education, playing and learning without writing. How do they learn a language and how do they learn life and life around their life? Being a social being, intrapersonal relationship, this has to be improved. These are all the basic things which I do, and I have got my own strategy of doing it. So if you look at YouTube, Grandma Child Care Shiksha Gurukulam, that is my early child care. The recently last month, 2 months back, I published 6 books on this subject. So I write books on this. I give teachers training programs, and next few months, I am there in different part of India to train teachers early child care teachers. So making them to become part of life, relate to their what they are learning to the life, whether it is from early child care to the university highest education. Understanding the importance will start making them to love the subjects, love the world, love the humanity. You as an individual, you will start converting yourself into a fully grown human being human being social being. That is more important. That's what I believe. Wonderful question, Hiba. Hijab, it's a beautiful question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir, and my next question: how do your experience as a scientist inform your approach to problem solving and critical thinking?
Yeah, every scientist does problems which others have not solved. So what is critical thinking? You get a problem, identify what are all the different ways of looking at it. That needs a 360-degree view. Understand, oh, will this work? No. If it doesn't work, what is to be done? If A path is not clear, what is the B path? What is the B is not working? What can be done with the C? And it is not solving problem. Solving problem as fast as you can. See, today's world is very fast. Every examination is competitive. So similarly, being a scientist, it is not solving a problem. Solving a problem as fast as you can. See, example, you have got a rocket going, and if you find some problem in the rocket, you cannot tell after some time. Immediately you have to stop the rocket. Otherwise, the whole rocket goes off from your hand, right? Suppose I have got a every policing job, every military action, every decision by a politician, everything in this world has to be very fast. So I keep saying the critical thinking, analytical skill, logical reasoning, data analytics, solving the problem with all that data in front of you is too huge. Identify exact what is that you want and then solve it for that point as fast as you can. When you wanted to Google something, you will find thousands of messages, replies coming. Which is to be selected for your solution? That is too critical, right? The solutions are there in this world. During this chat GPT world, nobody needs to learn anything. You have a huge dictionary, so you need not learn every meaning of every word. But how do you get that meaning which you want from the dictionary as fast as you can? That ability is what is called critical. Critical means time, space, instant, immediate solutions. It is a response. It is not an action which comes from reactions. Actions comes from response. So a good scientist have to be too responsive, very fast. That is what I think my ability is also. I am very good in that. I am very fast in reacting. So probably sometimes it creates problems, what happens in the day-to-day affair when somebody has doing, we keep saying very fast, no, don't do this. Why? Because you are thinking next above that what is going to happen. So sometimes relationship will get spoiled because we are too reactive. It is not too reactive. We feel responsible and then take actions much fast. Others may not be able to respond to that in that fastness, so it becomes a problem. But as a scientist, yes, that is what is exactly required. Yeah.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question: can you share an example of a challenging situation you have faced as a spiritual director and how you helped someone navigate it?
See, I'm traditionally from Kerala, which is very strong in spiritual matters. I had a great blessings of being the student of great masters who are all in meditation masters. I'm from Himalayan tradition meditation master, Swami Veda Bharati, who is Swami Rama's disciple. He is called Mahamandaleshwar. Mahamandaleshwar means it's the highest of the highest Swamis saints in India. I happen to be one of his students. Similarly, I had great opportunity to learn all the Vedic traditional wisdom knowledge from a great person called Brahmasri KPC Anujan Bhattadripad. Both of them are no more. But getting into their fold, getting into their hand, being their student itself is like a miracle. Somebody who comes from a village who has no intention, no desire to go to this path, has been traveling in that path for long years. I learned astrology, I learned color therapy, I learned Vastu, I learned different traditional knowledge in India. I started teaching Bhagavad Gita. I went to America to teach Bhagavad Gita. I feel all these are because of my correspondence, my association, my studentship from the great masters. And that itself is a great miracle. So I am not a spiritual director, probably. I'm only a spiritual student. But since my masters are not alive, probably I am also called as Himalayan tradition spiritual master, Himalayan tradition meditation master, right? That is because my master is no more. I get the title. That's by chance. Otherwise, meeting them, talking to them, living with them, working with them, learning from them itself is a great miracle. That is a great blessing which I got from the Ishvara, the Bhagavan, the God. That's what I believe. Yeah. That's apart from being a scientist and being science into and logical reasoning, critical reasoning, all that is there, but this part is more stronger than probably, which makes me to become so active and so strong and so dynamic and so acceptable to all situations. And my health also permits me to go around and walk around at this age because of this merit which I have got. Blessings from the great gurus. That's what I got. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay, sir,
making me
thank
to
you.
remember my teachers. Yeah.
Okay, sir, so my next question. How do you adapt your communication style when working with individuals from diverse backgrounds and belief systems?
See, for the COVID has given me beautiful occasions to interact with the whole world. I started teaching in Philippines. I've got students and discussions with African people. I mean, I traveled in America. Recently, I was there in UK. Earlier, also, I was there in Nottingham to teach. I went to Fiji. I went to Hong Kong. I must have traveled the Gulf, all the Gulf countries hundreds of times. Being from a small village, migrating to a city like Hyderabad, meeting a lot of people with a different culture, transforming myself into those sort of situations to react and talk to different people in a fluent English, probably understand their language, different languages in India, communicate with them Hindi when I go to North India. The whole pan India, we can associate people with either Hindi or English. South India, most of the languages I speak myself. The East and West India, we have got Bangla and Gujarati. I understand and talk to them in that language. So I'm sure one of the capacity where people wanted to communicate, language is most essential. Second one is accept people as they are. I'm not a stubborn type of stylish people who wanted to have this sort of a pattern of food. No, I'm so flexible. So I get adjusted to different people. When I go to different places, I stay with them, I walk with them. Not in the highest, maybe the richest of the richest people stay in the richest of the richest hotels. I must have stayed there many, many nights. But I also live in the small huts and people with them. I stay in forest. I also live in the five-star hotel, right? So these adjustment and flexibility is what makes people to get into them very closely. Therefore, yeah, you understand their life, they understand my life. Communication becomes so simple. I think most important is being flexible and not being very rigid. That is what is essential.
Okay, sir, amazing, and thanks for answer. My last question. Finally, what advice would you give to someone aspiring to follow a similar path and pursue a career as a life mentor, teacher, scientist, spiritual director, or performance coach?
I believe this is not a career which is to be pursued because somebody is doing it. I will also do like that. Don't follow somebody's path like that. It has to come naturally. I think you should not become a life mentor just because you wanted to become a life mentor. You should not become a teacher just because you wanted to become a teacher. You have to get a good student, then only you can become a teacher. So it is not a teacher who has to make their life as a teacher. It is a student who consider you as a teacher and come behind you, so that you start teaching and you become teacher. You are not a person who has to keep a board and say I solve everybody's problems. It doesn't happen. Nobody will come to you. Your quality has to be seen by somebody else and then come and approach you, so that you can solve their problems. You find many people come to you in due course of time. Probably you will become a life mentor, and it's not a designation or a career which is to be chosen. You are not a, I mean, public speaker course is not to be done to become a public speaker. You may be a good speaker, but nobody will be listening to you if you are not touching their life. So either a life mentor or a teacher or a performance coach, what exactly required is you have to become successful in your life. Your family has to prove that, oh, I cannot become a life coach when my children don't perform well. I cannot become a teacher when my kids will not become good students. I cannot solve somebody's problem, psychological problem, when I myself is psychologically sick, right? So what is exactly required is live a life and do a profession that gives you sufficient earning. All these paraphernalia which you have got, a life coach, teacher, social mentor, performance coach, all these have to be considered as a social service, not a paid job. And I don't think it is a career which can be taken when you are wanted to earn money and you keep, nobody will come to you. What is exactly required is you be a professional where it's a paid job which is directly either technically or in subject wise or in administrative wise. You reach into a position where people recognize you and then come to you. Then you start supporting them as a supportive system, as a social responsibility which you are giving back in the rest of your life. Probably when you become matured and you have got sufficient things to live in your life. I don't think this has to be considered as an earning program and as a career, as a job where somebody has become sick and then you come to a doctor and then doctor treats. No, I don't think these are not courses which can be given and somebody can be made into that. I don't believe in that, and I don't appreciate people who are doing that also. You can learn from different people, but earning should happen from somewhere else. There is something called earning and learning, and there is something called a passion. There is something called a social service. Everything has to be distinctly understood. This is what my belief. May not be true, but there are today a lot of people become speakers, a lot of people become coach, a lot of people become psychologically treating people when they themselves is psychologically upset. They are giving career guidance program where their career becomes generally not even done any job in their life. They have not earned enough, but they teach how to make others to earn. There is a great joke which says somebody has written a book on how to earn money, and then he doesn't have money to publish that book. You can imagine somebody writing a book on how to earn money and he doesn't have money to publish his book. Understood? So this happens when you take some of your passion as a profession. Sometimes passion cannot be a profession. You may not become successful. The passion should be your passion. Profession should come for earning, which can be slightly different from what others are not supposed to be doing. And you don't jump into that. You slip into that naturally. That is what is exactly required.
हेलो
Yeah,
सर,
is
आपको
that
मेरी
better?
आवाज आ रही है? Are you can you?
Yeah, आपको नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम था, इसलिए अब चले गया.
Oh yes.
Yeah, no issue. So I hope
Okay, sir.
you
Thank
understood
you so
what I
much
mean.
for your
Thank you so
time.
much. Thank you.
Okay, viewers, I am Hijab for and today's my guest, Dr. TPS. So I hope that you understand our interview, and Sir Dr. TPS shares some insightful knowledge. Thank you so much, sir. And also, I invite you my school. When you come in Pakistan, when you come in Karachi, so please visit our school, Rehan School, Kalonji
I
campus.
think we will have some online programs to your school students, or maybe from this interview, somebody can take my contact from Dr. TPS, search for the Google, YouTube. You will get a most of my lectures, or maybe online we can have sessions. Okay, so thank you, Hijab, for this nice time which you have given me. Is a great gift. I consider it as a great opportunity, and so nice of you, so kind of you, with a lot of good questions. And I'm so happy to see students like you from Pakistan interviewing me. Probably I don't have that many people who, in India, who interviews me like this. Like, so thank you. I wish I get an opportunity. I know each and every portion of Pakistan, right? I've studied the geography of Pakistan. I studied the world and life of Pakistan. So I'm so much impressed by the youngsters like Hijab, who is getting into such wonderful job of learning from the people from different parts of the world by interviewing, and beautiful communication skill, wonderful English, a wonderful initiative. So I appreciate your school of thoughts, and then people who are communicating with this. Thank you so much. Inshallah, see you sometime somewhere. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye bye.
Thank you.